Star player Angel Reese has reportedly been suspended by the Chicago Sky head coach after her altercation with Indiana Fever rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. The suspension follows what many are describing as a brawl during their most recent game, in which tensions reached a breaking point and led to a blatant foul call that has since turned into a full-fledged scandal. The WNBA is investigating claims of offensive remarks made by fans. Following the event, the league made an announcement. However, things have now drastically changed, with Reese being subject to internal discipline from her own squad. According to people close to the organization, Reese's actions after the play and her reaction to the investigation that followed are also factors in the suspension, in addition to the on-court incident. The altercation that resulted in this historic ruling happened during the third quarter of the Chicago Sky vs. Indiana Fever game, which had been physically demanding. When Clark made contact with Reese during a driving layup attempt, knocking the Chicago star to the ground, he was called for a flagrant foul. There has been much discussion and close examination of what transpired afterward. Before being separated by teammates and officials, Reese's response was abrupt and combative, seeming to aim remarks at Clark and try to approach her. Depending on one's point of view, the mood created by the Indianapolis crowd's chorus of alcohol directed toward Reese would later be described in a variety of ways. The issue appeared to be temporarily contained by the court as the Indiana Fever pulled away for a decisive victory, but within hours, claims started making the rounds on social media that the supporters had gone beyond fervently supporting Reese to acting inappropriately toward him. Many people saw these charges as legitimate because of the WNBA's prompt announcement of an investigation, even though there were doubts regarding their credibility. The Chicago Sky coach's decision to suspend Reese has now taken an unexpected turn in the story, as the WNBA has stated that it strongly condemns racism, hate, and any form of discriminatory behavior. This declaration set the stage for one of the most contentious episodes in recent basketball history. Team insiders claim that the entire incident embarrassed the organization and that Reese's behavior during and after the game went against the team's professionalism standards. Reese must apparently fulfill specific behavioral requirements before being restored back to the active roster, and the suspension is indefinite. After releasing a statement that many saw as strengthening claims from a fabricated Twitter post about Indiana fans, the Chicago Sky organization decided to suspend Reese. Given that the team has come under fire for spreading unsubstantiated allegations about the Fever fanbase, some have conjectured that the ban is more about damage control than any disciplinary issues. ESPN has covered the suspension in great detail, with analysts expressing differing opinions about whether the penalty is appropriate for the offense. Stephen A. puts Monica and Chiny on the spot because, according to one headline, there was a heated segment in which celebrities were questioned about how they framed the dispute and how they responded to the news of the suspension. The circumstance poses previously unheard-of difficulties for the WNBA. Because of Clark's arrival and her competition with well-known players like Reese, the league has greatly benefited. The number of people watching television has increased. Women's basketball is being addressed in mainstream settings like never before, and social media participation has skyrocketed. However, the ongoing issue, and this suspension threatened to overshadow the real basketball being played. The ban is a major blow to Reese's WNBA career, which had been off to a promising start. Reese entered the professional ranks with high expectations and a reputation as a fierce competitor after dominating at LSU and leading her team to a national championship over Clark's Iowa squad. Now, she faces questions about her professionalism and temperament, and is sidelined indefinitely. In the meantime, Clark is improving on the court, setting records and garnering the league's attention like never before. Usually, the news would focus on her triple-double performance in just her fourth professional game. Rather, it is now but a footnote to the greater story of dispute and debate, which now also involves Reese's suspension. Now, the Chicago Sky will have to play the rest of their schedule without one of its top players, at least for the time being. The group's performance while Reese is away will be carefully examined, as will any remarks made by players or coaches about the ban. Regardless of the initial requirements for Reese's return, demand may grow to restore her sooner rather than later if the team struggles. The WNBA's task is to capitalize on the high level of attention created by the Clark-Reese rivalry without letting it turn into the kind of off-court drama that now threatens to eclipse the sport itself. Whether this incident turns out to be a positive turning point or a warning story will depend on how the league handles the fan behavior inquiry and Reese's punishment. The controversy around what truly transpired before and after the game is still going strong as media and fans process the news of Reese's suspension. In order to find hints regarding what actually transpired, social media posts and witness statements have been examined, and video evidence has been examined frame by frame. As is frequently the case in these circumstances, the truth most likely lies somewhere in the midst of the conflicting versions. It is evident that women's basketball has drawn national attention in ways that were previously unthinkable. Making sure that this focus results in long-term growth rather than short-lived controversy is the current problem. The league, its players, media sources, social media platforms, and the fans themselves are all accountable for this. It is hoped that as the season goes on, attention will once again be on the floor, where a new generation of remarkable athletes is inspiring millions of people and transforming women's basketball. If the Clark-Reese rivalry is permitted to grow naturally through competitiveness rather than being characterized by off-court drama and suspension investigations, it may become one of sport's greatest tales. However, the basketball community is currently waiting to find out when Angel Reese will play again and what the consequences of this ban will be for both her career with the Chicago Sky and the WNBA overall. There is little doubt that the story is far from ended, and the upcoming chapter is expected to be every bit as captivating as the ones we have already seen.